Hey guys, it's me again talking about the latest episode of The Bachelorette that I just watched yesterday. So I'm just gonna get right into it. The first date started off with Marcus, and one of the things that he decides to tell her about is that he has been journaling about her, which I think is a little bit creepy, but hey. And he uses that time to kind of jab him about wanting to leave back at the beginning. And I have to be honest, I don't totally agree with the fact that she's a little bit upset about that. I mean, it was in the first couple of weeks, and any normal relationship, the beginning of it is going to be, it's gonna have uncertainty, right? So I don't really agree that she's kind of upset about it, but I mean, to each their own. Then over dinner, they delve into his family life to prove that they're really moving to the next level of this relationship. And as much as I think that Marcus is a very likable guy, my mom loves him, my best friend loves him, I just don't really think that I see the passion in their relationship, which brings me on to Nick, who ended up visiting Andy in the hotel room in a situation that was totally not feasible. It was just the most creepy way of going about it. He like stalks up to the check-in desk and is like, oh, I don't know my room number, I don't have my room key, but just give, and the lady's like, oh, okay, no problem, take this key. Like, he could absolutely be a murderer. The chances could be very high, so that lady at the check-in desk was just not thinking about it. But anyways, that worked out in his favor, and they went out, and you can really see, as much as I really don't like him, the passion in their relationship, and he really stole the spotlight of Marcus. Next was the date with Josh M. You just cut to him walking up to Andy like a tall drink of water. The whole time I'm like, open up, Josh, do this for us, don't lose this. Because, you know, she didn't really know what his feelings were, and when he finally does it, I rejoice. Andy is glowing. It's just happiness all around. After his confession that he's starting to fall in love with her, they walk around outside. He's just looking like a movie star. And only for a fleeting moment do I think, I really miss Tassos. I wish Tassos was here, but, you know, just for a minute, so that's fine. And then eventually she goes on the group date, where I just love this. Her sitting on that, like, platform while the four guys are biking her around. I'm like, Andy is just living the dream right now. First with movie star good looks Josh, and then this, like she's some sort of amazing goddess. I'm just jealous right now. She breaks the news that she's going to only be giving a rose to one guy, and that one guy is the only one who's going to continue on the date. And then you see the nervous faces, the looks that everyone's giving each other, because you just know stuff's about to go down. During the date, everyone hates Nick, but really what else is new? He's not really doing much to make anyone like him. He's like, oh, nobody has a chance, nobody's important, blah, blah, blah. Then instead of telling Andy how he feels, he tells Andy how she feels by saying, I've never felt someone fall in love with me before. And apparently that was enough to make her smitten, which I don't really understand. And she ends up giving him the rose and pisses me off, pisses everyone else off. Horrible choice. I mean, he's already had 2 one-on-one dates, plus that little weird stalker move that he pulled earlier on in the episode, so I totally understand why the guys were so upset. I don't think that it was a smart move on her part, and I don't know, I think it just makes her look dumb. And then also, the feminist in me was just raging when he said, I'm gonna be more lenient with my son, blah, blah, blah. Gender stereotypes, not cool, Nick. Just another reason for me not to like you. Later on, the guys end up confronting Nick, and it doesn't really go anywhere, which moves on to the cocktail party, where that's just stressful. Everyone's in a bad mood. I'm nervous. We're all stressed. Dylan said one thing that made me just appreciate him, and he said, really, will these conversations change her mind? And I completely agree. At the cocktail party, Andy has got to already know what she's doing. If you're leaving, you're already 1 foot out the door. The one conversation where you talk about your grandma's cat or something like that is really not going to convince her that you're husband material. I'm sorry. Nick starts crying to the camera. I'm not even sure really what about. I am not moved by your tears, Nick. I am steadfast in my belief that you are not the one. In the end, my fears were realized, and Brian was sent home along with Dylan, but I was really upset about Brian because Brian was I just really like Brian. He was my number 1. I love Josh, but I just think Brian is more like a real person that you could actually meet in real life, and I just think that it was just a horrible choice. Josh actually ends up kissing Brian goodbye on the cheek, and I thought that was so cute because my 2 favorites are besties, and that's just adorable. But I felt super bad when Brian was outside and they're all laughing and stuff. Like, how uncomfortable. Like, way to make this even more awkward for everyone. Just, oh my god. But I am so excited because hometown dates are coming up, and I love it because there's always like the one mother who's super protective, the one crazy great aunt or something, so it's for sure gonna be bringing some interesting viewing entertainment. So I guess I will see you next week where I talk about that, and that's all. Thank you for watching. Do this for us. Don't lose this.